Welcome to the 165th edition of Make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. I am Tiger Height.
And I am Peanut Gallery.
Yes, we're playing catch up. I'm sorry we were out. We had family in town. They wouldn't leave. So, now, right before we were debating on doing this pay-per-view on Saturday before we went on our brief hiatus, but we realized that would have been an enormous waste of time and we would have been pissed off.
Yes.
So, we're covering WrestleDream. I'm going to start off with an enormous positive, and that was Willow Nightingale.
Mm-hmm.
She continues to impress me.
She is impressing me quite a bit. Like, they actually have some potential star power.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like that they're putting her in this sort of main event spot.
Mm-hmm.
She's not injuring as many people. It seems like she's being a little more careful.
Although now she herself was injured because she had to pull out of Mexican wrestling events this weekend.
Yeah, CMLL. But I'm not sure if that was of her own fault. I mean, At the same time, it's not ballet.
Right.
You know, you're going to have these. But Willow definitely was hurting for certain. But now she's starting to get a little bit better.
And then Mariah May is really coming into her own as well, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, it took her winning the world champion to do it. But you know what? I guess better late than never.
Right.
So
she wasn't really kind of seen as kind of that top person, but she's really kind of proving us wrong.
Right. I do agree with you on that. She was like the lackey, and that's like, can she really hang with the big girls here by continuing to impress? This was a good match. I like this match a lot, but this is a rock and a hard place situation where Jay White just returned, and Hangman Page just got off of essentially winning their top match this year with the unsanctioned Lights Out match with Swerve Strickland. It's like, who in this situation was going to win this match? And they chose Jay White to win. Is that the right call?
They're having a rematch at Full Gear. So I guess we'll see how this rivalry develops.
Yes, but what I saw with this, I did very much enjoy this, but it was just cool. I just put it as a positive because we needed positives with this just absolutely strange pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was very strange.
So I put this here because I enjoyed more than I did not like. The private party should have won.
I know they
should have won. They had everything here. They have the popularity. They have the teamwork. Now, we are going to be seeing them wrestle for the tag team champions again at Friday Night Dynamite. And if Private Party loses, they are no longer...
Friday Night Dynamite. They're calling it Friday Night Dynamite.
That's what I said. I said Friday Night Dynamite.
No, it's Fright.
Oh. It's on Friday. Is it not on Friday?
No, it's not. It's just a Fright Night.
It's on
the 30th. It's Friday Night Dynamite.
That's actually really obnoxious. So I thought it was Friday. I'm like, oh shit, I have to cover both, whatever. But why did they do that to me?
I don't know, because you don't know how to read.
Did you see the font? It's kind of messy. It's terrible. It's like baby's first graphic design. But Private Party should have won this. They had the momentum going into it.
Yeah,
they had the victories on there.
Yep.
And now with Fright Night, blobbity blah Dynamite, fuck you. They're essentially putting their tag team career on the line with another match. Or maybe
so that means that they're probably going to win.
If they lose, then the Young Bucks there's Hulk Hogan in at this point.
Yeah.
But this probably should have been the place because they were a lot more popular than, a show that probably isn't going to break 600,000.
Right.
But you never know.
Never know.
Konosuke Takeshita was 100% the right call on winning this.
Oh, yeah.
I think the title itself does not have to be on either Ricochet or Will Ospreay because Ricochet has quickly become Tony Khan's least favorite toy. Because
now he's just doing stuff on Rampage and Collision.
Yeah, but Konosuke is there. He defended the title once at Maple Leaf, but we'll talk about that later. But he, once again, another star who's just been so impressive. Yep. I'm liking him as a heel. Don Callis being the evil hand behind him is really good, and he's continuing to show off very impressive stuff. So him winning this title was 100% the right call.
Oh, absolutely.
I am very happy. And going into this, I did not expect to actually have a positive regarding this match, but they did build this well.
They did. This was one of the stronger builds.
Yeah, and which is weird because there was no title. It just felt like it kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
But they really harkened back to sort of their roots. They played into it quite well. The only thing that I might give a little bit of a criticism on is that Darby brought up Brody's family. Mm-hmm. And for me, sometimes...
Whenever you bring up family, it sometimes draws a line for me.
Yeah. When you go into wrestling, you want to suspend your disbelief for a second. Mm-hmm. And I don't want a guy who's literally in a cult talk about his kids.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
You are a cult member. You are subservient to another grown man.
Right.
So you talking about your children, it's like, okay, I get that they have lives outside of it, but I don't expect the people in Romeo to Juliet to actually be in love and killing people. Right. I want to suspend my disbelief. And you bringing that shit up is there. If you're in the zeitgeist of the wrestling business, where Darby talked about he was the one who vouched for Brody King to come into the company and them starting off and they made it. That's different because that's their career. But not the I like your family shit. It's just weird. I don't like it. Also, with Brody King, if you are going to be the cult member with the face paint, stick with it.
Right.
You look like a cable guy during the promos, but the match was structured well. I did like this overall. Mm-hmm. But that was my positive. But now, with the positive, we gotta have some negatives. Let's talk about fucking pre-shows. A match or two? Fine.
They had 4 matches.
They had 4 matches.
On the pre-show.
That's a show. Right. That's a wrestling program. There was no reason for these.
Right.
Other than just to do it.
Right.
That's not a reason to do it.
Right.
Just hold back on them. Have a match or 2. Perfect. Right. 3 you're kind of pushing it, but if there was like a squash, whatever... 4's a company.
Right.
4, just slap it on Ring of Honor and call it a show.
Pretty much.
This was just so dumb. Luckily, we didn't watch this live, so we didn't actually have to do anything with it. Mm-hmm. But good Lord, it's getting out of hand. People are getting wrestled out by the time you get to the main event.
Yep.
At least they were in Washington, where the time zone is the right time zone.
Right.
I hated this. I hated this so much. This is the person that you have and Bryan Danielson's career.
Yeah.
You have drunk Jon Moxley and his career.
It kind of screamed to me the Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle retirement.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the kind of vibe I got.
At least that one was at WrestleMania. Yeah. I mean, somebody said something that Bryan Danielson is your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. Mm-hmm. He has a legacy of being that indie guy who made it. Right. Same thing with CM Punk and Jon Moxley to a lesser extent. But you end his career like this. I guess because it's in Washington.
It kind of went out with a whimper.
It went out with a total whimper. I think because I just expected a new person.
I did too. I wanted somebody different. I think that they were going to do Darby Allin, but I don't think that Darby Allin's quite ready for that main event spot.
But then at the same time, who else is there?
Right, there really isn't anybody else.
Right, I mean, you could have put maybe Jay White in this spot, or Hangman Page. I said Hangman Page should have been the guy to do it, because at least Hangman is like the next generation guy. Yeah. He had the momentum. Yep. But then you just do it with John. Why? John Moxley doesn't need to.
Well, and I think they did a lot of this because they were in negotiations with the cable company at this point in time, and they really needed to show that they were strong. As like
John Moxley wasn't the strong guy. I'm sorry, he's just not.
I mean, and it really is a lot of the same reason why Chris Jericho is now the Ring of Honor World Champion, is because they were trying to get Ring of Honor onto television.
That's not going to work. Chris Jericho is fat and old.
But just remember that a lot of these decisions were probably made with that in hindsight.
I guess, because I think the TV deal was done after this.
Yes,
okay.
I think it was.
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah,
people.
It has been. Can't remember off the top of my head.
So we have seen, we had the match between Will Ospreay and Ricochet. They did the little gymnastics routine. Hooray, milk and cookies for everybody.
Right.
They did the match.
I hate Ricochet's stupid gymnastics routine.
It's getting old. This was the third time at this point that we had this flippy dippy shit, and it's getting out of hand.
Yeah. I don't know. Because he's been doing the same thing with Leo Rush. It's just everybody. It's like, okay, I don't fucking care about the flippy dippy shit anymore.
It's getting out of hand. Him on social media, him doing this flippy stuff, I'm done with it. Yeah. I think everybody needs to be done with it. It's not impressive anymore.
Right.
When you do it every fucking week and sometimes twice, it's not going to be impressive anymore.
It's not going to impress anybody.
I don't care about it anymore.
Right.
The reason that Ricochet was special in WWE is that they formulated the flippy stuff to feel special.
Yeah, because he was one of the only people that was doing it, and he wasn't on TV every week unless he was involved in the storyline. He wasn't involved in very many storylines, and Speed was a good platform to be on because that was all that platform was flippy shit.
Right. At the very least, Konosuke won this match.
Yeah.
He's not flippy guy. He is I'm gonna hit you guy, which is great. But Will Ospreay is just should be as much of in that criticism.
Yeah, because he's also very flippy.
Yeah, but they've done their little choreographed double backflip fist to the ground thing 3 times, and this was the 3rd time.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's too many. I got so tired of the gymnastics routine during this. I want to watch some wrestling. I go into a wrestling match and a gymnastics routine breaks out. It just got so tired. And if you're sitting there saying, no, it's really athletic. I never said it wasn't athletic. It's just not wrestling.
Right.
It's just, I don't care about it anymore.
Right.
I don't care about then. I care about now. What are you going to do different?
Right.
And I think that's also another issue with this is that I think now the expectation is what else are you going to do?
Because there is nothing really. I mean, Ricochet has no value outside of doing flippy shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's not main event.
No.
That's not main event in my eyes.
No.
Sorry. I mean, he's already wrestling on Rampage and Collision. Clearly, Tony Khan had the same idea.
All right.
This was a mess. This was a disaster of a match. This was not the title change. The title change
happened it actually happened last week.
And I already had my bitch fit about that. If you were going to do the title change, if you were going to do it, this should have been the spot. I don't know why they didn't.
Because I think they're trying to make the fans go home feeling better because their hometown hero is going to lose later on the night. But why? I mean, so from a business point, I understand why they put on Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho is just like, he refuses to die. He refuses to end his career. He refuses to give up even when the fans don't want him to be around.
And if Chris Jericho is the catalyst to possibly getting Ring of Honor to have a TV deal, it's clearly fucking failing. Look at the ratings.
We don't know what WBD's thoughts on that are. We just don't know yet.
I think they're probably looking at this just fucking panicking after, everything after this pay-per-view. Remember, this is, 2 weeks hindsight.
Right.
So there was that. But this match was shocking. It was a mess.
Yeah. I agree.
It was an absolute mess. The match itself was fine. It was again very short match though. But what the fuck was that ending? That's why I put this on here. Is that what the fuck was this ending?
And again, this was also the shortest match on the show. I wonder if they had to cut it because of the runtime.
Because there are 14 fucking matches.
Right.
I'm sorry, you're not Billy Corgan. You don't know how to choreograph 14 matches and make it work. At least with NWA, when they were running pay-per-views, they did 14 matches, and it kept my attention.
Yeah.
For every single match.
Yep.
I didn't feel burnt out. But with this is just boom and boom. It's like, holy crap, give me some time to breathe.
I think that this match was, again, cut short.
Yeah, and then again, another thing that came out, it came out later, but apparently Shibata really... Katsuyori Shibata really stiffed New Japan, where in his return match, it was only supposed to be an exhibition match, but he went into business for himself. He did not give any prior notice to New Japan when he left the company. And the reason that he came to this company, you know why? New Japan doctors are not going to clear him.
Right.
That match was supposed to be an exhibition match to avoid striking. And here is Katsuyori doing the striking. Does he have to die? Does somebody have to die in the fucking ring to realize that these doctors are a bunch of fucking imbeciles?
Oh, yeah. AEW's doctors are being paid by...
Oh, my God.
It's just so stupid.
I mean, this is not a smiling factor. I'm actually sort of pissed off. It's like, I mean... It's going to take one hit for this guy to have another fucking brain aneurysm. Right. And what are you going to do then? What's going to be the fucking spin then? What is it?
Right.
God, man. I'm just so like, ugh. This is the kind of shit. I mean, stupid wrestling and flippy shit is one thing, but if somebody's just going to needlessly die because he can't get out of the ring, you know, part of it is... The New Japan was in the right there.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking idiot.
Right.
So, when we come back, we're going to cover much better wrestling.
Yay.